Okay, in this assignment, you guys are going to be doing a close reading of our first text, which is called the circuit. Close reading is a strategy that involves reading a text word by word, sentence by sentence, and line by line to develop a complete understanding of it. Typically, what I tell my students is they need to be reading the text more than once, preferably 3 times. So the first time you read it, you're just simply reading it to enjoy it. And then the second time you are reading it to make annotations, which is what we are going to do now, what I'm going to show you to do. Marking the text or making annotations means making notes or writing questions that help you understand the text. Linked down at the bottom of this assignment, you will see the TLMS annotation codes document. This is what we typically use as we are annotating because it helps us connect with the text and get a better understanding of it. You guys will not be able to actually write in all of those characters in the sticky notes, but you can type out a question or type out a connection that you make, things like that. So the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to ask a question about the title. And when you do that, you come over and take your cursor and highlight the title, and this will pop up. You can make a sticky note, erase something. You can circle, underline, put a question mark, put an exclamation point, put a star, okay? You can define things, but we are going to ask a question. And we're going to put a sticky note here and type our question out. Okay, so I added the sticky note and then typed that I have a question, and I'm going to ask a question about this title. This text is called The Circuit. So my question is this text about an electric circuit? And there's my question. Now, when I save something as a sticky note, I don't believe that you can erase it, so be careful what you're typing in and saving, okay? So here's my question for that first thing. Now, the good thing about having access to Springboard Digital is that you can play the audio, and that might be a good way to read your text the first time. Play the audio and follow along so that you can hear it for the first time and just simply enjoy the story. The second time that you read it, maybe you want to read it on your own, and then you will continue making annotations. So if you come across a word that you do not know, it is an unknown word or an unknown phrase, I want you to circle it. So you can do that by highlighting the text and putting a circle around it. So now I know that that was a phrase that I didn't know and I'm curious about it. You can also click this define button. Never mind, I don't think the define button works the way I thought it did. But you have your term circled here, and then if you think that you could figure out what that term means based on your context clues, or maybe you've looked it up in the dictionary, you can add a sticky note and type out what that means so that you, next time you go back through and read, you have that definition there. I'm going to cancel that out. Okay, and then as you are reading, if you come across something that you have a connection with, maybe it's something similar to what you have experienced in your life, then you can make a note, just like I did, by highlighting the text. And you can create a sticky note and type in what your connection is. You can also type in questions like I did earlier, or just type in simple comments. You can also highlight the text just as you are reading. So please make sure that you are reading more than one time. That's very important. And you will return to the text for a third time in the returning the text questions. But reading it at least 3 times is very, very important. I also like to teach my students to chunk and sum, which with the textbook in front of you to write in is a little bit easier to do, I think, than the online textbook. But I always look at how many paragraphs there are. They're already numbered for us, so that's great. And let's see, there is a total of 34 paragraphs. So I tell students to chunk it by maybe 4 or 5 paragraphs, and then make a note. So I might highlight and make a sticky note, and then summarize what those 4 paragraphs were about. So these first 4 paragraphs are about a father and son that are moving. Okay, it does not have to be a complete sentence. You're just simply summarizing quickly what you read. Okay, so hopefully this explanation is helpful. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to send me an email.